I don't know. That's a great question. Why is the question to be asking? But I would say, I guess more so when I was coming up in my upbringing, the older guys were more so of they were kind of a tough love kind of group, and I think now with our young guys, we kind of babysit them more, and we kind of try to teach them and just encourage them way more, and just kind of let them know that they can do it irregardless of anything. Let them know that there's nothing that's going to stop them from being a great player except for themselves. And, once you get that kind of confidence built up in a young guy and just, show them the way or just pave the way and just, show them how you work and show them how to do everything right all the time, then, they get a sense of, hey, I can do this. I can get this right. And, hey, I could potentially, if I don't even get a starting job, I can maybe split time. And then, once you split time, you get a taste of what it feels like to be a starter at that point. And then you're just like, I want it all. And that's kind of where all of our guys are right now. They're just, whatever it takes to be the best, I'm going to do.
Jordan, can you talk about, obviously the team goals are there and first, but for you, this is such a really big year. Can you talk about your maturation and your focus, and if you see it that way?
Oh, yeah, for sure. But this season, of course, I have my own personal goals, but I was more focused on what we can accomplish as a team. I so bad want us to be in the run for the national championship, but at the same time, I also, want to be in the running for every award that has to do with any kind of defensive player of the year or, defensive back, best defensive back of the, anything that has to do with me just flat out, head and shoulders being better than everybody else in my position is what I want to do. And it was really funny. It's really stupid, but we were joking around, and I was just like, I want to win the Biletnikoff as a DB. And I'm just like, everyone was saying, like, what are you saying? I'm just like, think about it, And I'm just like, something I kind of, joked about, but it's one of those things where, I just want to, irregardless of where the ball's at in the air, if it's in the air, I either want to come down with it or nobody.
From your vantage point, how's the battle at the opposite quarterback spot going?
You know just as much as I do at this point. It's competitive, to say the least. We got these young guys coming in here, and it's a wide open spot. No one's solidified it. No one's set themselves apart because everyone is pushing each other to be the best that they can be at all times. And consistency is key, and that's what we're trying to teach all of our young guys. But it's there in every single person. You can see them making strides. They don't ever make the same mistake twice, or they don't ever make the same mistake in the same day, or after it's corrected, it's okay. I'm going to make it, not necessarily by choice, but if I make a mistake, it's going to be a different one. It's not going to be the same thing that I did yesterday or you did yesterday. It's moving forward at any cost.
I think when camp started last year, you were probably thinking that was going to be your last college camp. And you have a different mentality this year?
Yeah, because it actually is my last college camp. I don't have any more after this. I can't come back, even if I wanted to. But yeah, it's officially, not necessarily officially real. It's always been real, but I don't have any more dances after this. Once I play my last game, it's done at the college level.
Baker has told us that the receivers are telling him that he's got more velocity, that he's throwing a harder football. Have you noticed anything in seeing him out there defending receivers?
Yeah, there's one distinct move that lets you know that ball's coming faster than you can see, and once you see him pat the ball one good time, you better just look at it like you're a batter and he's the pitcher.
So you think his ball has plenty of velocity?
For sure. It didn't matter if you're 60 yards down the field, he put it on the line.
Yeah.
You mentioned that the individual awards are important to you. What was your reaction when you were on the board? Watch those.
I mean, it was fuel, It's just like, it's just it's a watch list. I understand that, but at the same time, it's just like I wasn't on it, so I'm gonna, make everyone who didn't put me on it regret it. It's just one of those things where I'm gonna prove the world wrong.
Did that hurt you personally, though, and kind of took a shot at your character?
Yeah, but it's life. I'm young. I'm in college. You can't sit here and tell me, everyone in this room is perfect. No one's ever made a mistake. But it's all about growth from this point on. whatever happened is in the past now. It's all about what I've learned, and you can see that, you know, from that point until today, just the strides that I've made as a person, and just trying to do the right thing all the time, even when no one's looking.
The young guys ask you about what to do, what are the right things to do, not just on the field, but maybe off the field too. I mean,
Every second of my life, those kids are like gnats. You know, I just can't get them away from me, and I love it because they're just like, hey, can you help me watch film on this, or hey, what would you do in this situation, or you know, hey, like I need your help with this, or I'm struggling with this, and I'm just like, okay, well, let me tell you from experience. You know, I've been through more than probably the average college player, but at the same time, I can use that to my advantage and use it as guidance. And if you need me, and if I can help, and if I know anything from any experience, then I will do the best that I can to, you know, baby step you through it or help them through it. Or, you know, even as far as their game, you know, just little things that I notice that I can translate to them better than a coach can, or just it's more relatable. You know, I'm just like, hey, well, this is how I do it, and this works best for me. But you know, we can, you know, play with it to figure out what works for you.
is there anyone more inquisitive than the others? I mean, is there one that just always wants to know?
Justin Broyles always wants to know. Always. Always.
Too much?
That's a fine line. He's dancing on it.
Hey, what have you done to improve your game from what we saw last year? Why do you think you are a better player going into this year?
Honestly, I think I'm a better player going into this year just because of what I failed to accomplish myself. And those all comes from personal goals. I had a whole little plan. I wanted to do this, and this. And then once it got to last year and none of that had happened, or it didn't happen the way I wanted to, I was not only upset with myself and the way I've played, but just the way I've prepared. And then, you know, from that point on, it's just one of those things where it's like every little thing that I can correct or I can make better, I will. And you can look at my notes from all of our practices, and it just looks like I wrote just like a novel, like what I'm just like reading for pages and pages and pages, and it's like little simple stuff like, okay, hey, don't do this on this play, or on this rep you did this, try not to repeat that, or just the smallest of thing, and it's just attention to detail, and that's what Kerry Cooks preaches every day. You know, professionalize your game is what he used to say a lot last year, and you know, it's kind of just stuck to me because it's. When you're a kid and you're, you know, a junior in college, you're like, yeah, whatever, I still have one more year of college. And then, you know, you get to your senior year and you realize, like, there's no more years after this. It's either, you know, continue to go to school or, you know, go on to the next level. And, you know, I put this much time in it that I, you know, obviously want to give the next level a chance. And so with all that considered, you know, it's a race. It's a journey, excuse me. Not a race. It's a journey.
How much is Ohio State on you guys' mind? Some workouts now, second game.
They're the second game of the season. We have a whole entire game before them. I haven't thought about it yet, but it is something to keep in the back. I mean, all of you in the back of our heads. But I mean, we're not worried about everything in the future. We're taking it one game at a time.
Do you take more notes than the average player? I assume all players are expected to take notes.
Of course.
But it sounds like you're a little deeper into it.
I do, and the only reason is because I like to know what everyone's rules are all the time, so I know where I can give a little, if you will, and I like to understand where, you know, certain individuals are going to be in their pass drop, so I know where I can, you know, leave a little leeway for them to pick up, you know, shorter routes or anything. If it's underneath help, I like to know where it's at. If I have a post help, or, you know, either way, I just like to know everyone's rules in every circumstance. So if there's motion, change of strength, whatever, you know, I just like to know where everyone is at all times so that I know how I can play and how I can just be better on the field.
Was there a moment last season when you realized that the goals that you said you were giving yourself, they weren't going to come to fruition? And, you know, what was that feeling like, knowing that you needed to come back the next year to try to better that?
In reality, I never thought about it until it was all done, and I was just like, well, that wasn't what I planned, because during the season I don't focus on me. It's not about me. It's way bigger than me. It's way bigger than you, and it's way bigger than Coach Riley. It's a big fan base, you know, and then there's plenty of guys that paved the way prior to us. So it's like, I want to, you know, just continue the legacy while I'm playing. I want to keep putting championships on the wall. I want to keep making playoff runs and stuff like that. And it's just like, obviously once, you know, we played Auburn and I looked down and looked up and I was just like, okay, well, what am I going to do now? It's just like, okay, well, let me, assess how my season went. And I'm just, okay, this didn't happen for me. And it was, heartbreaking, but at the same time, it's life. I didn't put myself in the position to be the best that I could have, and it showed, so that's why I'm sitting here talking to you now.
Changing the subject a little bit, Coach Cooks was talking earlier this week about how much Parnell Motley and Jordan Parker they chatter. I think the phrase that he used was running their mouths a little bit, talking trash in practice. You like to see that from the DB that's going to be opposite from you, whether it's...
I love it. That's just a competitive nature, and it's not, harmful. It's never I want to hurt your feelings. I want you to feel bad about yourself. It's none of that. It's just one of those, okay, I'm going to let you know that I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. You can beat me once. That's fine. Throw it again. See if you do it again. It's that type of stuff. It's never like, oh, you're this, or you did that, or it's nothing to put anyone down. It's just to get that competitive nature, that competitive spirit going, and then push those players around them. If you're sitting there and let's say you're a receiver and I'm telling you, okay, well, you suck. You can't get off the line. Like, you're not going to catch a ball all day. That's going to push you to be like, all right, let me show you I can. And then, in practice, that just makes our receivers go harder. That gets them better looks and they get better work.